The massive alien ship blocked out the sun as it moved into position above Earth. Commander Zethkar stood on the bridge, his scaled hands gripping the control panel. His yellow eyes studied the blue planet below. This was his job. Find new worlds, make them pay tribute. He had done this 100 times before. "Sir, we are in position," said Captain Mordim from behind him. The smaller alien's voice carried respect and fear. Everyone feared Zethkar. He was 8 feet tall with razor-sharp teeth and claws that could cut through steel. "Good. Send the message to their leaders. Standard tribute demand. 10,000 of their best people every year. No exceptions." Zethkar's voice was cold and hard. He had learned that being cruel made this job easier. On Earth, President Linda Carter sat in the Oval Office when the message came through. The alien transmission filled every screen in the world at the same time. The voice was mechanical, translated by alien computers. "People of Earth, you are now under the authority of the Galactic Council. Your world will provide tribute as payment for continued existence. You will deliver 10,000 of your strongest and most capable individuals to our collection point in 30 days. They will serve the needs of the Council across the galaxy. Failure to comply will result in corrective measures. This is not a request." The message ended. President Carter looked across her desk at Secretary of Defense Jack Murphy and Chief of Staff Paul Adams. Both men had gone pale. "Ma'am, what do we do?" Jack asked. His hands shook as he reached for his coffee cup. "We need options. Fast." Carter picked up her secure phone and dialed. "Get me General Frank Hayes, emergency priority." Within an hour, the most powerful people in America sat around the conference table in the Situation Room. General Hayes had arrived with Dr. Helen Ross, his chief strategist, and Colonel Steve Martinez from Special Operations Command. "The aliens are not bluffing," Dr. Ross said as she pulled up satellite images on the main screen. "That ship is 12 miles long. Our entire nuclear arsenal would barely scratch it. We counted at least 50 smaller ships around it." "What about other countries?" Carter asked. "Same message went everywhere," Colonel Martinez replied. "China, Russia, everyone got the same demand. 10,000 people each." "So they want 70 million people total," Paul Adams said quietly. "No," Dr. Ross corrected him. "They said 10,000 of our strongest and most capable. They are not asking for random citizens. They want our best soldiers, scientists, leaders, athletes. They want to cripple us by taking away the people who make our society work." The room fell silent. Everyone understood what this meant. If they complied, Earth would lose its best people forever. If they refused, the aliens would destroy them. General Hayes leaned forward. "Ma'am, we have been studying their transmission. The alien ship has been broadcasting continuously since it arrived. We broke their communication codes." "What did you find?" Carter asked. "They have done this before. Many times. We counted references to over 300 worlds that pay tribute. Some have been sending people for thousands of years. And if a world refuses?" Hayes looked grim. 2 worlds tried to fight back in the last century. Both are now dead rocks floating in space. President Carter stood up and walked to the window. She could see the alien ship in the daylight sky, a dark spot that should not be there. "How long do we have?" 29 days now, Colonel Martinez said. "And they want our best people?" "That is what they said. Strongest and most capable." Carter turned back to the table. Her advisors watched her face carefully. They had worked with her for years and knew that look. She was planning something. "General Hayes, I need you to contact every maximum security prison in the country. I want a list of every prisoner with military training, technical skills, or leadership experience." The room went quiet. Jack Murphy was the first to speak. "Ma'am, you cannot be serious." "I am completely serious. They asked for our strongest and most capable people. They never said those people had to be good people." Dr. Ross caught on first. "You want to send criminals?" "Not just any criminals. I want to send the most dangerous, intelligent, and resourceful criminals we have. People who know how to fight, how to break things, how to cause trouble. People who hate authority and have spent their lives fighting against it. Colonel Martinez started to smile. Ma'am, that is brilliant. Is it legal? Paul Adams asked. They are prisoners, volunteers for a dangerous mission. We give them a choice. Go with the aliens or stay in prison forever. Either way, they are serving their sentence. General Hayes pulled out his tablet and started making notes. We can coordinate with other countries. Every nation has dangerous prisoners they would be happy to get rid of. Exactly. We give the aliens exactly what they asked for. 10,000 of our strongest and most capable people. They just will not be the kind of people the aliens expect. Doctor, Ross was already working on her computer. Sir, I am pulling up profiles now. We have former Special Forces soldiers who turned to crime, computer hackers who brought down government systems, bomb makers, professional killers, gang leaders who ran organizations with thousands of members. How long to organize this? Carter asked. 2 weeks to identify and select candidates. Another week to transport them and brief them. We can make the deadline. Carter sat back down. Gentlemen, lady, we are going to give the Galactic Council exactly what they deserve. They think they can come to our world and demand our best people like we are cattle to be harvested. They are about to learn that humanity does not break easily. She looked around the table at her advisors, and they are about to learn that our worst people might be more dangerous than our best people ever could be. High above Earth, Commander Zethkar watched his sensors track the small ships moving around the planet. The humans were busy preparing something. He assumed they were gathering their tribute like good subjects should. In his experience, primitive worlds always gave up their best people to save themselves. He had no idea what was really coming. Dr. Helen Ross walked through the concrete corridors of ADX Supermax Prison in Colorado. Her heels clicked on the polished floor as guards led her past cell after cell of America's most dangerous criminals. She carried a thick folder and a tablet, computer. Today she would start selecting Earth's tribute to the aliens. The first interview room was small and cold. Danny Price sat across from her, his hands chained to the metal table. He was 42 years old, built like a tank, with scars on his arms and neck. His file said he was former Army Special Forces who had turned to selling weapons after his discharge. Danny, I am Dr. Ross. I work for the government. I have an offer for you. Danny looked at her with cold blue eyes. Lady, I got 3 life sentences. What kind of offer could you possibly have? A chance to leave this prison forever. A chance to serve your country in a way that uses all your skills. What is the catch? Dr. Ross opened her folder. You would be part of a group sent to work for aliens off-world, probably for the rest of your life. Danny was quiet for a long moment. Then he started to laugh. Aliens. You people are crazier than I thought. This is real, Danny. The whole world knows about it now. We need people who can survive in hostile situations. People who know how to fight and think under pressure. And you want criminals for this job? We want survivors. We want people who do not give up when things get bad. People who hate being told what to do. Danny leaned back in his chair. His chains rattled. What exactly would I be doing for these aliens? We do not know yet. Manual labor, maybe. Security work. The aliens did not give us details. And if I say no, you stay here until you die. Danny thought about it. 23 hours a day in a concrete box or whatever the aliens had planned. At least with the aliens, there might be chances to escape, to fight back, to be something more than a number in a cell. When do we leave? 3 floors down, Lisa Kane sat in another interview room. She was 34, thin, with short black hair and intelligent green eyes. Her file was full of computer crimes that had cost governments millions of dollars and embarrassed intelligence agencies around the world. Colonel Martinez conducted her interview. Lisa, we need your technical skills. For what, you want me to hack alien computers? She smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Maybe. We do not know what technology they have. But if there are systems to break into, you are one of the few people who could do it. Lisa had been in solitary confinement for 2 years. No computers, no internet, No contact with the digital world that had been her life. The thought of working with alien technology made her pulse quicken. These aliens, they are really taking people from Earth? Yes. 10,000 Americans, and more from other countries. And you are sending criminals instead of regular citizens? Martinez nodded. The aliens asked for our strongest and most capable people. They never said we had to send good people. Lisa laughed out loud. That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You are going to give them exactly what they asked for. So you are interested? Colonel, I have been dying of boredom in here. The chance to work with alien technology, to maybe cause some trouble for beings who think they can just take people from our planet. Hell yes, I am interested. In the prison workshop, Rick Stone was building a chair when the guards came for him. He was a big man with calloused hands and gray hair. His file listed dozens of bombings and explosions. He had worked construction before he started using his skills to destroy buildings instead of build them. General Hayes interviewed him personally. Rick, we need someone who understands how things work. Someone who knows how to make things break, you know. Want me to blow things up? We want you to be ready for anything. The aliens will put you to work somewhere. If that work involves construction or maintenance, we want someone who understands those systems completely. Rick had spent 15 years in maximum security. He was 61 years old and knew he would die in prison if he stayed. General, I have been blowing things up since I was 12 years old. If these aliens want to put me near anything important, they are making a big mistake. Is that a yes? That is a yes. The selection process took 10 days. Dr. Ross and her team interviewed over 500 prisoners. They picked carefully, former soldiers who had turned to crime, computer experts who had attacked government systems, gang leaders who had run criminal organizations, professional killers who had never been caught until one mistake brought them down. Each prisoner got the same choice. Go with the aliens or stay in prison forever. Most chose the aliens. Even the ones who suspected it was a trap decided that any chance was better than dying in a cell. The chosen prisoners were moved to a special facility in Nevada. They got new clothes, basic medical care, and simple briefings about what they might face. The guards told them they were being sent as Earth's representatives to serve the Galactic Council. Nobody told them they were really tribute. Nobody explained that the aliens thought they were getting Earth's best citizens. The prisoners believed they were volunteers for some kind of work program. Lisa Kane figured it out first. She was too smart not to see the real situation. During the final briefing, she asked Dr. Ross directly, "We are not really volunteers, are we? We are tribute. The aliens demanded people, and you are sending us instead of regular citizens." Dr. Ross looked at her for a long moment. Then she nodded. "You are right. The aliens think they are getting our best people. Instead, they are getting our most dangerous people." Lisa grinned. It was the first real smile she had shown in years. "So, we are not Earth's gift to the galaxy. We are Earth's curse on it. Something like that. Does Danny know? Does Rick know? They will figure it out. You all will. The question is what you do with that knowledge." Lisa stood up and walked to the window. She could see the other prisoners in the yard outside. Former soldiers, hackers, bombers, killers, all preparing for a journey to the stars. Doctor, those aliens have no idea what they are about to receive. That is the point. They think they are getting sheep. They are getting wolves. Dr. Ross closed her folder. "Lisa, you and the others are about to become the most important people in human history. Not because you are good people, but because you are exactly the right people for this job." The next morning, buses began loading the selected prisoners for transport to the launch site. Danny Price looked out the window as they drove through the desert. He still was not sure what waited for him, but anything was better than dying in a concrete box. In another bus, Rick Stone dozed in his seat. At 61, he figured this was his last adventure. He planned to make it count. Lisa Kane stared at the alien ship visible in the sky ahead. Soon she would be aboard that ship, heading for technology she could barely imagine. The thought made her feel more alive than she had in years. None of them knew they were about to change the balance of power in the galaxy. The human transport ships docked with the alien vessel with a soft metallic clang. Commander Zethkar watched from the observation deck as the cargo bay doors opened. He expected to see broken, frightened humans crying for their families. Instead, 10,000 people walked out in orderly lines, looking around with calm, calculating eyes. "Sir, the tribute has arrived," Captain Mordem announced. "Processing will begin immediately." Zethkar nodded, but something felt wrong. These humans moved like soldiers. They watched everything, studying the alien guards, the ship layout, the technology around them. Normal tribute cowered and wept. These humans looked like they were planning something. The humans were herded into massive holding areas that could house thousands. Danny Price found himself in Bay 7 with about 800 others. The walls were metal. The lighting was harsh, and alien guards with energy weapons watched from elevated platforms. "Anyone know what happens next?" asked a woman with scars on her face. Her name was Carol Hayes, and her file said she had killed 12 people in gang wars. "They will process us," Danny replied. "Figure out what we are good for, then ship us wherever they need workers." A thin man with nervous eyes spoke up. "I heard they use tribute for dangerous jobs, mining, construction, fighting wars." "Good," said Rick Stone from across the room. "I was getting bored." The Alien Processing Center was a massive hall filled with stations where creatures from different worlds interviewed the new arrivals. Each human was called forward, sat at a table, and questioned about their skills and background. Lisa Kane was among the first called. The alien across from her looked like a giant insect with multiple eyes and clicking mandibles. It spoke through a translation device. "Human female, state your technical capabilities." "Computer systems, network security, data analysis," Lisa replied calmly. The alien input information into a glowing screen. "Previous occupation?" "Information technology specialist." It was technically true, even if she had used those skills to break into government databases. "Any combat training?" "Basic self-defense." The alien made more notes. Lisa watched its movements, studying how the translation device worked, how the computer interface responded to touch. Even during questioning, she was gathering intelligence. Danny Price's interview went differently. His interviewer was a reptilian creature similar to Commander Zethkar, but smaller. Human male, military experience, United States Army, Special Forces, 15 years active duty. The alien looked surprised. Leadership experience? Led teams in combat operations, trained recruits, managed complex missions. Weapons expertise? Danny smiled coldly. All types. Small arms, explosives, hand-to-hand combat, tactical planning. The alien spent a long time inputting this information. When Danny returned to the holding area, he found others comparing their interviews. "They seem excited about military backgrounds," said Carol Hayes. "My interviewer got very interested when I mentioned gang leadership." Rick Stone chuckled. "Mine asked if I knew construction. When I said I worked demolition for 20 years, it started taking extra notes." Meanwhile, in the ship's command center, alien bureaucrats were reviewing the interview results. Quintel, a floating creature, covered in tentacles, studied the data with growing confusion. "Commander Zethkar, these results are unusual." "How so?" "The humans show remarkable skill diversity. We have military specialists, technical experts, leadership personnel, construction workers. Their capabilities are far above normal tribute standards." Zethkar looked at the reports. "Earth is a primitive world. How do they have such advanced training?" "Unknown, sir. But there is another concern. Many of their background files contain extensive records of what their legal system calls criminal activity." "Criminal activity?" "Violence, theft, destruction of property, computer crimes. The translation software is having difficulty processing some of these terms." Lieutenant Governor Vexara, an experienced council member with purple skin and 4 arms, joined the conversation. She had overseen tribute collection from dozens of worlds. "May I see these files?" she asked. Quintel transferred the data to her station. Vexara read quietly for several minutes, her expression growing increasingly troubled. "Commander, I believe Earth has deceived us." "Impossible. Primitive worlds always comply with tribute demands. Look at this human male, designation Danny Price. His file lists over 40 separate violent incidents, weapons violations, and something called murder for hire. This human female, Lisa Kane, apparently damaged multiple government computer systems and stole classified information. Zethkar moved to read over her shoulder. What are you suggesting? I am suggesting that Earth did not send us their best citizens. They sent us their criminals. Before anyone could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the ship. In holding, Bay 12, a fight had broken out between human prisoners and alien guards. It started when the guards tried to separate a group of humans for individual cell assignment. The humans had been talking quietly among themselves, and several guards decided to break up what looked like planning sessions. When Guard Captain Crystal ordered the humans to separate, Danny Price stepped forward. We stay together, he said simply. Tribute will comply with processing procedures, Crystal replied, raising his energy weapon. That was when things went bad for the aliens. Danny moved faster than the alien expected, grabbing the weapon and spinning behind Crystal in one smooth motion. Carol Hayes kicked another guard in what she hoped were its knees. Rickstone picked up a piece of metal debris and swung it like a club. Within seconds, 12 alien guards were down, and the humans had their weapons. Form defensive positions, Danny ordered. Watch the entrances. The humans moved with military precision. Those with combat training took point positions. Others gathered alien equipment and weapons. Lisa Kane found a control panel and started working on it immediately. Can you open the doors? Danny asked her. Give me 30 seconds, she replied, her fingers dancing over alien controls like she had used them her whole life. Emergency response teams rushed to Bay 12, but they found the doors sealed shut. Inside, the humans had barricaded themselves and were treating the area like a military position. Commander Zethkar arrived with a full security detail. Through the sealed doors, he could hear organized voices giving orders, setting up watch schedules, and planning defensive strategies. Sir, they have taken control of an entire section, reported Security Chief Morgax. They are using our own weapons and have somehow locked us out of our control systems. How many guards did they capture? 12. But sir, that is not the worst part. What? They are not acting like frightened tribute. They are acting like soldiers who just captured enemy territory. Zethkar watched through security monitors as the humans organized themselves into an effective fighting force. They had established clear command structure, defensive positions, and were systematically studying captured alien technology. Lieutenant Governor Vexara joined him at the monitors. Commander, I have reviewed more of their files. Earth did not just send us criminals. They sent us their most dangerous criminals, military criminals, professional criminals, intelligent criminals. On the screen, they watched Lisa Kane successfully hack into the ship's communication system. Danny Price was teaching other humans how to use alien weapons. Rick Stone was examining the wall structure, probably looking for weak points to exploit. Sir, Vexara continued, Earth has not sent us tribute. They have sent us an invasion force. Commander Zethkar stared at the monitors, finally understanding what his species had done. They had demanded Earth's strongest and most capable people, and Earth had complied. They just had not sent the kind of people the aliens expected. In Bay 12, Danny Price looked around at his fellow prisoners, now armed and organized. Anyone else starting to think we are not really volunteers for a work program? Lisa Kane looked up from the alien computer she was dismantling. Danny, we are tribute. The aliens demanded people from Earth, and our government sent us instead of regular citizens. So we are expendable. We were expendable. Now we are something else entirely. Rick Stone laughed from his position by the sealed door. Those government people are smarter than I gave them credit for. They turned us into a weapon and fired us at the aliens. Danny nodded slowly. Then let us make sure we hit the target. 6 months after the tribute delivery, Supreme Chancellor Morgath called an emergency session of the High Council. The massive chamber filled with representatives from hundreds of worlds, all demanding answers about the crisis spreading across their empire. Chancellor Morgath was 12 feet tall with 4 arms and skin like polished stone. He had ruled the Galactic Council for 3 centuries and had never faced a problem like this. His voice boomed through the chamber's translation systems. Members of the Council, we face the greatest threat to our authority in recorded history. 68 worlds are now in open rebellion. Our tribute system has collapsed on over 100 planets. Military losses exceed anything we have experienced in the past millennium. Commander Zethkar stood at the center of the chamber bearing responsibility for the disaster. Around him, angry voices from different species demanded explanations. How did one primitive world cause such destruction? Asked Ambassador Velnoth from the Rigel system. It was not the world, Zethkar replied. It was the people they sent, us. Earth did not give us their best citizens, they gave us their most dangerous criminals. Criminals? Supreme Chancellor Morgeth's 4 eyes focused on him. Explain. 3 months after the tribute delivery, the Galactic Council's problems had spread across 17 star systems. What started as isolated incidents was becoming a crisis that threatened the foundation of their empire. On the mining world Kethvar, Danny Price crouched behind a pile of broken mining equipment as alien security forces fired energy weapons over his head. He had been assigned to mine rare crystals in underground tunnels. Instead, he had spent his first week studying guard, rotations identifying weak points in the facility, and organizing the other human workers. Tony, take your team around the left side. Danny spoke into a stolen communication device. Carol, hit them from the right when you hear my signal. The humans had not just escaped the mines. They had liberated over 300 alien workers from different species, seized control of the mining equipment, and turned the whole operation into a fortress. The planetary government had sent increasingly desperate reports to the Council about tribute malfunction and worker rebellion. Tony Martinez moved through the shadows with 5 other humans. He had been a crime boss in Los Angeles before his arrest, running drug operations across 3 states. Now he used those same organizational skills to coordinate resistance cells across the mining complex. Danny, we got company coming from the south, Tony reported. Looks like they brought heavy weapons this time. Copy that. Rick, are you ready? 3 levels below them, Rick Stone smiled as he put the finishing touches on his latest project. The aliens had assigned him to construction work, maintaining the mining tunnels and equipment. They had no idea he was actually an expert in making things explode. Ready when you are, boss, Rick replied. This is going to be a big one. Danny counted down from 5 and gave the signal. Carol Hayes and her team opened fire from the eastern ridge while Tony's group hit the aliens from the west. In the confusion, Rick triggered his charges. The main power station erupted in a massive fireball. Emergency lighting failed across half the complex. In the darkness, the humans pressed their attack with night vision equipment they had built from salvaged mining sensors. By dawn, the alien security forces had retreated to their ships. The humans controlled the entire mining operation and had enough weapons and equipment to hold it indefinitely. 2,000 light-years away, Lisa Kane sat in what used to be the central computer core of Nexus Prime, the Council's most advanced technology hub. She had been assigned to data entry work, inputting shipping records and inventory reports. The aliens thought they were giving her simple busy work. Instead, Lisa had spent her first month learning how alien computer systems worked. She studied their programming languages, identified security weaknesses, and mapped their network connections. By her second month, she had complete access to their quantum communication grid. Let me see, she muttered to herself as her fingers danced across multiple alien keyboards, military deployment schedules, economic reports, political communications between council members. She was not just stealing information. She was sharing it with every oppressed species she could contact. Slave workers on factory worlds received blueprints for weapons. Conquered civilizations got detailed maps of council military positions. Rebel groups across the galaxy suddenly had access to classified intelligence they could never have obtained on their own. But Lisa's most dangerous work was what she did for other humans. She had established hidden communication channels that connected every group of Earth's criminals scattered across council space. Danny's mining rebellion, Rick's construction sabotage and dozens of other operations were now coordinated through her network. Lisa, to all stations, she broadcast on the encrypted channel. I have new intelligence on Council fleet movements. Also, I found something interesting in their historical databases. Her message reached humans on 43 different worlds. In each location, Earth's former criminals were causing problems the Council had never faced before. On the Fortress, world of Drakmor, Rick Stone had been assigned to repair work on military installations. After 2 months, the base commander could not understand why every project Rick touched suffered mysterious failures. Power grids exploded, structural supports collapsed, and weapon systems malfunctioned in ways that seemed almost impossible. Rick worked alone most of the time, which was exactly how he liked it. He had spent 30 years learning how things worked, so he could make them stop working. The aliens had given him access to their most important military technology and expected him to fix it. Computer, show me the structural plans for the main communications array, Rick said to the work terminal. The alien computer complied, displaying detailed blueprints for the massive transmitter that coordinated Council military operations across 3 sectors. Rick studied the plans carefully. He identified the critical support points, the power distribution, systems, and the backup safety measures. Then he began planning the most spectacular explosion of his career. That night, the communications array collapsed in a precisely controlled demolition that took out half the military base's command structure. In the investigation that followed, no one could prove sabotage. The official report blamed structural fatigue and poor maintenance. Meanwhile, Tony Martinez was building something the Galactic Council had never seen before. An interstellar criminal organization. From his base on a trade station near the Vega system, he coordinated smuggling operations, protection rackets, and information brokers across dozens of worlds. The key is understanding the system, Tony explained to a group of alien crime bosses during a secret meeting. The Council thinks they control everything, but they are too big to watch everything. There are gaps we can exploit. Tony's network moved weapons to rebel groups, smuggled escaped slaves to freedom, and sold stolen Council technology to anyone willing to pay. More importantly, he provided coordination between scattered human teams and other species fighting against Council rule. His organization grew rapidly because it offered something new: professional criminal expertise combined with military planning and advanced technical skills. Other alien criminals had never seen anything like the systematic approach humans brought to organized crime. Dr. Helen Ross monitored all of this from her office in the Pentagon. Lisa Kane's communication network allowed Earth to track every human team scattered across the galaxy. What she saw exceeded her wildest expectations. "Mr. President," she said during the daily briefing, "our people are not just surviving. They are thriving." President Carter reviewed the reports on her secure tablet. 17 Council worlds reporting major problems, 23 more with minor incidents. And this is just from our 10,000 people? Yes, ma'am. But it gets better. Intelligence indicates that 46 alien species have declared independence from Council rule in the past month. Most cite access to new weapons and tactics as the reason they could finally rebel successfully. Weapons and tactics provided by our criminals? Exactly. Lisa Kane has been sharing Council military secrets with oppressed populations across the galaxy. Danny Price and others are training alien resistance fighters. Rick Stone's sabotage techniques are being copied on dozens of worlds. Carter looked out her window at the alien ship still visible in Earth's sky. Commander Zethkar was still up there, probably trying to figure out how everything had gone so wrong. Dr. Ross, what is the Council's response? They are in crisis mode. We intercepted communications between Council leaders. They are debating whether to recall all tribute from Earth or increase security measures on the affected worlds. And, if they try to recall our people, that would require military operations on 43 worlds simultaneously. The Council's forces are already stretched thin, dealing with all the rebellions our people have inspired. Carter smiled. So we have created a problem they cannot solve. It gets better, ma'am. Tony Martinez reports that several council member species are considering switching sides. They see the chaos our people have caused and want to hire them as military advisors for their own conflicts with the council. The president sat back in her chair. When the aliens had demanded tribute, she had expected to sacrifice 10,000 criminals to save Earth. Instead, those criminals had become humanity's most effective ambassadors, spreading chaos and rebellion across the galaxy. Dr. Ross, how many worlds are now in open rebellion against the Council? 37 confirmed, with more joining daily. Carter picked up her secure phone. Get me a message to all our people out there. Tell them the folks back home are proud of them, and tell them to keep up the good work. Above Earth, Commander Zethkar stared at reports from across the galaxy. His simple tribute collection had become the worst disaster in Council history. The humans had not just escaped their assignments. They had weaponized rebellion itself and spread it like a virus across civilized space. For the first time in his career, Zethkar was beginning to understand that his people had made a terrible mistake. They had demanded Earth's strongest and most capable people, and Earth had given them exactly what they asked for. The problem was that humanity's definition of strong and capable was very different from what the Council had expected. Lieutenant Governor Vexara stepped forward with a datapad. Supreme Chancellor, we have completed our analysis. The 10,000 humans Earth provided include military specialists who became arms dealers, computer experts who attacked government, systems explosive specialists, professional killers, and criminal organization leaders. Earth sent us an army of experts in violence, theft, sabotage, and rebellion. The chamber erupted in angry voices. Some council members demanded immediate military action against Earth. Others wanted to negotiate. A few suggested abandoning the tribute system entirely. Silence, Morgeth commanded. What is the current status of these humans? Commander Zethkar activated a holographic display showing the galaxy. Red dots marked worlds with human-caused problems. They have escaped containment on 96 worlds. They are actively fighting our forces on 47 planets. They have established criminal networks spanning 12 sectors. Most dangerous of all, they are sharing military technology and tactics with rebellious species across the galaxy. And our attempts to recapture them failed. Every military operation against them has resulted in heavy casualties and strategic defeats. They fight like they have nothing to lose and everything to gain. On the mining world Kethvar, Danny Price received the emergency broadcast through Lisa Kane's communication network. He was sitting in what used to be the planetary governor's office, now serving as headquarters for the Free Miners Alliance. All stations, this is Lisa on Nexus Prime. Council forces are mobilizing for a major offensive. They are targeting our key positions simultaneously. Danny looked around the room at his command staff. Carol Hayes was cleaning her weapon while studying tactical maps. Rick Stone was building something that looked suspiciously like a bomb. Tony Martinez was coordinating with resistance cells on other worlds. How many ships are coming our way? Danny asked. Council fleet shows 12 heavy cruisers, 40 escort vessels, and a full planetary assault force. Estimate 30,000 troops. Carol looked up from her weapon. Danny, we got maybe 800 fighters and stolen mining equipment. They're bringing a real army. Good, Danny replied. Let them come. Rick, how long until your surprise is ready? Rick grinned. Give me 2 hours. When those ships land, they are going to get a welcome they will never forget. Meanwhile, on Nexus Prime, Lisa Kane was doing something the Council thought was impossible. She was systematically taking control of their entire communication network. Her fingers moved across multiple keyboards as she inserted hidden programs into critical systems. If they want to coordinate a galaxy-wide offensive, they will need to use their quantum communication grid. She muttered to herself. And I own that grid now. Her computer screens showed Council military communications from across the galaxy. Fleet movements, troop deployments, supply lines, command codes. She was stealing it all and sharing it with every rebel group she could. Contact. But Lisa's real masterpiece was the virus she had been building for months. It was designed to spread through the Council's network and cause systematic failures at exactly the right moment. Time to give the Council a taste of human ingenuity, she said as she activated the program. Across the galaxy, Council communication systems began experiencing mysterious glitches. Orders were delayed, fleet coordinates became scrambled, requests were rerouted to wrong destinations. The carefully planned offensive was falling apart before it even began. On the fortress world of Drakmor, Rick Stone put the finishing touches on his greatest creation. He had spent 4 months secretly placing explosive charges throughout the base's critical infrastructure. Power stations, weapons depots, communication arrays, landing platforms, everything connected to a single detonator. This is Rick to all stations. When those council ships arrive, give me 60 seconds after they land. Then get ready for the biggest fireworks show of your lives. Supreme Chancellor Morgeth stood in the council's war room, watching their offensive collapse in real time. Fleet Admiral Krickstar was trying to coordinate the attack from the command center. Supreme Chancellor, we are experiencing massive communication failures. Fleet coordination is impossible. Ground forces are reporting that landing platforms on target worlds are being destroyed before they can deploy troops. How is this possible? Unknown, sir. Our systems are failing in patterns we have never seen before. Lieutenant Governor Vexara approached with another report. Supreme Chancellor, I have more bad news. 43 member species have formally requested to withdraw from the Council. They cite the ongoing crisis and loss of confidence in our ability to maintain order. Morgeth stared at the tactical display showing red alerts across hundreds of worlds. A handful of human criminals had somehow brought the greatest empire in galactic history to the brink of collapse. Get me a direct communication to Earth, he commanded. On Earth, President Carter was in the Situation Room with her full cabinet when the alien transmission arrived. Commander Zethkar appeared on the main screen, but he looked different, defeated, desperate. President Carter of Earth, Zethkar began. The Galactic Council demands that you recall your tribute immediately and provide suitable replacements as originally intended. Carter looked around the table at her advisors. Dr. Helen Ross was monitoring communications from their people across the galaxy. General Hayes was reviewing intelligence reports. Colonel Martinez was coordinating with resistance movements on dozens of worlds. Commander Zethkar, Carter replied calmly, I am afraid that is impossible. You specifically requested our strongest and most capable individuals. We provided exactly what you asked for. Earth considers our obligation completely fulfilled. You deceived us. You sent criminals instead of proper citizens. We sent exactly what you demanded. 10,000 of our strongest and most capable people. The fact that they also happen to be criminals is irrelevant to your request. Zethkar's image flickered with rage. These humans are destroying our empire. They must be stopped. That sounds like a problem for the Galactic Council to solve, Carter said. Earth fulfilled its part of the agreement. What you do with our people now is your responsibility. The transmission ended. Carter turned to her staff with a satisfied smile. Dr. Ross, what is the current status of our people? Ma'am, 17 Council worlds have declared complete independence. 31 more are in active rebellion. The Council's military forces are scattered and demoralized. Intelligence suggests the Empire is fracturing into competing factions. And our criminals? They are no longer just causing trouble. They have become leaders of a galaxy-wide revolution. Danny Price is training armies. Lisa Kane is coordinating an interstellar intelligence network. Rick Stone's sabotage techniques are being taught on hundreds of worlds. Tony Martinez is running what amounts to an alternative government for rebel territories. President Carter walked to the window and looked up at the alien ship still visible in the sky. I wonder if Commander Zethkar is beginning to understand what humanity really is. Ma'am, we are not the strongest species in the galaxy. We are not the smartest or the most advanced. But we have one quality that the Galactic Council never expected. What is that? We are too stubborn to stay conquered. Even our worst people refuse to accept defeat. 6 months later, Dr. Helen Ross received a message through Lisa Kane's communication network. It was from Danny Price, transmitted from the capital world of what was now called the Free Systems Alliance. Dr. Ross, mission status report. We have successfully established independent governments on 43 worlds. The Galactic Council has been reduced to controlling less than half of their former territory. Request permission to establish formal, diplomatic relations between the Free Systems Alliance and Earth. Carter read the message and laughed. Dr. Ross, our criminals have founded their own interstellar nation. Yes, ma'am. And according to the intelligence reports, it is more democratic and less oppressive than the Galactic Council ever was. Carter picked up her pen and wrote a response. Tell Danny and the others that Earth is proud of them. Tell them they have exceeded every expectation we had. And tell them that when they are ready to go,